Good day, magandang araw at would like to welcome you dito sa channel. Kung ikaw ay bago dito, please hit the magic button, hit also the notification bell for more interesting topics. Okay, so today we will be having a quick review on our basic accounting cycle, particularly focusing on the worksheet and financial statements. So, the purpose of this video is really to demonstrate how worksheet and financial statements are being prepared. No? And we will not prolong this, and since this is just a quick review, we will go on to the illustration. This is a typical worksheet, ano? Kaya we will be starting with balances na already. Kasi ang worksheet ay piniprepare once the ledger accounts are all with their respective balances. This comes after the journalizing and the posting stage of the accounting. So, in this sample, meron na tayong mga balances. We have all the debits and the credits, and we find here that balance siya with respect to debit and credits. Dito sa worksheet, we can identify all the account titles, and especially, syempre, yung mga headings natin. We have the headings in this particular column. We have the unadjusted trial balance title. Then we follow the adjustments, adjusted trial balance, the balance sheet, or rather income statement, at finally ang balance sheet. Okay, so we can now go on with the next procedure, which is the adjustments. Pagka may balancing ng ganito, we can now proceed to the adjustments. And these adjustments will be provided by the information. So, let us hurry it up and go on para matapos natin siya. Okay? So, ang additional information given, actually, in the adjustment procedure, there are a few items to consider. Ang mga subject for adjustments are the accruals, the deferrals, and the allocation of cost, also known as the depreciation, and some other correcting entries and adjustments of unusual accounts, if there are any of those. Okay? So, let's start first. Sabi dito, ang salaries daw ay still unrecorded, So it is now subject for accrual, unrecorded salaries. As mentioned here, meron 3 employees at tumatanggap ng 500 each. Tapos, based on the information, the payroll was every Saturday binibigay, at it happens that the December 31, which is the reporting period, is a Wednesday. So, we really have to accrue a 3-day salary. Okay? So, based on our computation, it turned out that the amount should be 4,500. That is 500 for each day, and we have 3 days, so 1,500. Then 1,500 multiplied by 3 employees is 4,500. So let us enter this into the worksheet. So the very first one is to recognize the salaries expense. So it is letter A, and we will recognize the entry 45, and also our credit will be since this is a an accrual, a liability will be created, so we will recognize the payable. Okay, but we are not yet through with this because there are a lot more adjustments to be considered. Okay, so we're finished with the first information given. Okay, so let's go on with the next one. Sabi sa information, merong unrecorded income on account. So it turned out to be 1,500. So let us record this or include this into the adjustments. Okay, so ang ating debit dyan ay, since this is an accrual of income, we will have a receivable. So meron tayong receivable dito. Okay, debit syempre. Okay, at ang amount ay 1,500, debit accounts receivable. And since this is an accrual of income, we will now credit the income account, which is consulting revenues. Okay, yes, so 1,500. Okay, so far we have entered 2 transactions under these adjustments. Okay, so let's move on. Letter C, the notes payable interest rate is 6% dated July 31. So based sa ating computation, it turned out to be 5,250. Okay, I will explain how did it come to be 5,250, no? Since the amount of the notes payable is 210,000, so the principal is 210,000. So it is 210,000 times 6%, no? Whatever the product is, you will multiply it by 5 over 12. So this one, I will indicate this here. Okay, that is 210 times 6% and times 5 over 12. So that's how it is, just to have an idea how did we get the amount. This is for this one. Okay, so okay, yan, so 5,250. So we will now enter this into the worksheet. Okay, so ang ating kinuha ay interest payable. Okay? And interest expense. So, under the adjustment, no, we will now record this. $5,250 interest expense, and credit is interest payable, ano? Interest payable. Okay? 5,250. Let us go on. Ang susunod natin, ano, sabi dito may bills na natanggap. So this is an accrual of expense, ano? Accrual of expense. So let us have the amounts. Ang sabi dito ay ito ay the amount ng 1,002 and 1,000. So the total of those two is 2,200. So, ano ang entry natin dyan dito sa worksheet? So, ito ang ating magiging entry. It will fall under utilities expense, ano? Yan ang magiging title niya. Okay? Oh no, utilities payable ito. So, this is utilities payable. Ang naging total niya ay 2,200. Ang utilities expense natin ay 2,200. Okay, that is the combination of the electricity and telephone bill. Okay, all of this will fall under utilities expense. The next one, ano, we will now go to the deferrals. Deferrals now, it will mean that all prepayments now made during the period will now be adjusted, ano, through passage of time or through the process of earning or consuming. So it's either case, ano, either case, deferrals, because there are two deferrals of expense and deferrals of income. So based on the information, sabi ang insurance paid was for 2 years starting August 1. So kung ating i-compute, there are August, September, October, November, December. There are 5 months, no, has just passed by. So it will involve 5 months. So based sa computation, ang lumabas ay 3,000 because ang ating insurance policy, no, prepaid insurance is 14,000. So 14,000, no, we will multiply it by 2 years, no. 14,000 divided by in months, it would be 24 months. So 24 months multiplied by 5, no, 20, or rather 24 months. So on a monthly basis, we will get the amount of, let's compute it sa ating calculator, 14,000 divided by 24 times 5. Based kasi sa ating insurance dito, no, ang sabi 14,400 times, okay, so it is correct na ang magiging expired portion ng ating insurance ay 3,000. Again, it is 14,400 divided by 24 times 5 months. No? The answer is 3,000. Okay? So, let's enter 3,000 and insurance expense is 3,000. Okay? So, next one, no? Supplies on hand daw ay 6,500. Yun ang sinabi sa information. So, we will have the entry, debit, supplies, expense. Okay, and we will credit the supplies. So that's how it is being done in the worksheet. Okay. Next, we have the allocation of cost. Service vehicle useful life is 10 years with salvage value of 1.5. We have now here the computation. No? I made it earlier. Okay. So, this is the computation for 20,000 ang vehicle. Let's see. For 20,000. And the salvage value is 1.5. Then, divided by 10. Okay. The balance here is 41,850. And the other one, we have the office equipment. So, let's check the office equipment. The office equipment is 60,000. So, 60,000 minus 200 as salvage value. 59,000 divided by 8. So, ang ating balance dyan ay magiging 7,475 for a total of 49,325. So, let's enter this into the worksheet. Okay? Depreciation. Okay, debit, ano? Yan. Ito ay parehong letter F. Okay? And the accumulated depreciation, ano, for each fixed asset. Okay. And for the other one, yan. And lastly, the rent for an space is for 1.5 years starting October 1. So, based sa ating computation, ano, ang expired portion ay 1,333.33. If we will look at the account, now we have a prepaid rent here, 8,000. So, how can we compute that? So, we have 8,000, no, divided by 18 months, no? 8,000 again, no, this one, divided by 18 months multiplied by 3. So, let's check natin sa calculator. The answer is 8,000 divided by 18, then times 3. So, the answer is 1,333.33. So, let's enter this into the worksheet. Okay? So, ang prepaid rent natin ay mababawasan ng 6,000 1333.33, and we have now the rent expense. Okay, so let us check the total, no, of our entries. So we have 78,608.33 for the debit and the credit. So far, balance ang ating adjustment. So all we have to do now, since we have accounted for all of the information under the adjustments, now we will just extend our accounts to the adjusted trial balance. Okay, so here it is, so we just add the adjustments to the previously recorded balances, and we will deduct it. It should be deducted. The debit to debit is added, the credit to credit is added, but debit to credit is deducted, and credit to debit is deducted. So that's the law, or the law of debit and credit, as we call it. So let us check the balances now for the adjusted, okay. The adjusted balance is 649,575, the debit and the credit, after extending all the adjusted balance, after reflecting all the adjustments. Okay, so we will now go to the income statements. Okay, so let us just identify, so all we have to do is just to extend all the income statement accounts. Okay, let's do this. Extend natin ang mga income statement accounts. Okay, so if it is credit here, we will put it credit here. And if these accounts are all debit, we will just extend it to the debit side of the worksheet. So let's have the balances. Okay, we have 63,900 for the credit, and 95,308 to the and 33 centavos to the debit. So it is very visible, it is very clear to us that the credit is less than the debit. So it seems to me that there is a difference of 31,408.33, which we can surely say that it is a net loss, because the credit, which represents the income account, is less than the total of the debit. So let us check our balances here, so that we can be sure that our balances are correct. So it is balanced, no? The same here, just to bring it down, no? Bringing the accounts balances down, and still balance in this column up to the column of the income statement. So yan, it is now clear to us that the net loss is 31,408.33. Okay, piece of information. If the balancing figure is to be placed, or it should be placed in the credit side, it is a net loss. And if it is supposedly to be placed on the debit side, on the left side, that's when we will consider it as net income. But by this time, it is a net loss, since it is placed in the credit side. Okay, so right now we will be doing the balance sheet. Okay, we will do now the extension of the accounts. So that's what we were going to do. So we just extended all the balances, all the adjusted balances, particularly the balance sheet accounts. Okay? And finally, we will just extend our totals here. Okay? So, again, if the income statements, showing the net loss on the credit side, on the other way around for the balance sheet. On the balance sheet section, it should be placed on the debit side because it will denote a net loss. So, with this, we are now sure that we have a balanced figures here, okay? Considering we have a net loss of 31,408.33. Okay, so this is how this worksheet is being prepared, and accomplished. So, by this time, it is now about time for us to make the report. The financial statement reports will be prepared basing on the information provided by the worksheet. Okay, so this is now the balance sheet, and we will show you how it will look like. So let's show it to you. Okay, so here is the balances as we transferred all the adjusted balances to the report. Then you can now clearly see that the balances are properly placed, no? The debit side indicates that it is 490,941.67 for the total assets, and in the right side, the credit side will show you that it is 490,941.67. So it is now balanced. These are all taken and extracted from the worksheet, that we prepared earlier, so picking up all the balances from the balance sheet columns, as indicated here, that the net loss is 31,408.13. It is also reflected in the balance sheet section. So here it is, that the formal financial statements are already prepared, the income statement and the balance sheet. Now we will go to the journal entries. Actually, these journal entries are prepared way back, during the preparation of the worksheet. But in this case, we'll just show it to you how the journal entries will look like. So here it is. I will just show it to you, all the journal entries that we should have recorded. Okay, so we have the accrued salaries. Okay, the accrued income of 1.5, the accrued interest, the accrued utilities on the telephone and the electricity. Okay, insurance expense, the expired portion, of the insurance, the expired portion of the supplies, the systematic allocation, which is the depreciation, okay, and finally the rent expense, or the expired portion of the prepaid rent. Okay, to have a second look of that. All right, so that will show you the adjustments, the adjusting entries. Right now, we will be going to the next one. We will just show you what it will look like if we will show you the entries. We will now go to the closing entries. Okay, the closing entries will uh, be shown to you. Okay, we will just copy the format here just to make it much easier for us to make the entries. Okay, we will just copy the format. Okay, we'll just place it here. Okay, formats. All right, so the same, we will do the headings. Okay, sorry if okay, we have the debit and the credit. Okay, oops. All right, so we'll just make it more formal. Okay, okay, in the closing entries, all we have to do is just to pick up all the accounts, all the nominal accounts for that matter, so we can close them to the income and expense summary. Okay, okay, this is closing entry, so let's put the date here, December 31. Okay, okay, if that's the date of the, all right, so we have the date here. Okay, let's pick up. As far as I know, we have the, let's have let's keep the row here. Okay, we have the consultation, revenue. Actually, the only income account that we have. So let's pick up the amount from the, even we can pick up from the income statement. Okay, we'll pick it up and we will close it to the income and expense summary. Okay, income and expense summary is a temporary account, okay, to which you will dump all these nominal accounts, during the closing procedure, closing the accounts. Okay, we have finished the first. Okay, let's have some explanation. Closing the income account. Okay, so for the debits, so let's do the debit here. Income and expense summary. Okay, and we will pick up all the debits. Okay, let's just pick it up from the income. Okay, statement. Okay, so we'll just arrange this, and okay, so and then we'll just make some, okay, just to, oh no, it cannot, ano, so I'll just retype it, salaries, expense, okay, supplies, expense, rent, okay, utilities, all right, insurance, expense, and then the depreciation, okay, and the interest expense. Okay, all right, so let's just complete the caption here for the depreciation for the service. Okay, let's just abbreviate here, service vehicle and the office. Okay, let's just check if it was arranged. Okay, the interest expense. Okay, so I'll just pick up all the balances straight from the income statement. Okay, so there we go. Okay, so let's check it again, and we can confirm it by checking the balance. Okay, I'll just check the balance. Okay, we have 95,308.33. Okay, and it shows here 95,308.33. So it is, that's right. And since this is closing, no, I have to place it here in the credit side. Okay, so this is 95,308.33. So that's the closing, ano. We can now label it closing all the expense accounts. Okay, just to have the explanation. Okay, so that is our closing entries. Okay, just to have a sort of remark there, or marks. Okay, so we've just finished doing the adjusting entries, no, as follows: accrual of expense, income, and yes, and the deferrals, no, starting here, the deferrals for the following accounts. And also we have just show you what closing entries will look like. Okay, somehow there are some other adjustments, like the reversal, as I have discussed in the previous lessons. There are what we call the reversal. So maybe I'll show it to you here. What do you mean by reversing entries? Okay, so because these reversing entries are being done during the first Okay, maybe, okay. Days of the following year, no? 2022. Okay, after the closing. So, just to make it clear again, reversing entries are being done on the following. All the accruals and all the deferrals if we use the income and expense method. But, okay, let me just clarify, but with this samples that we had, no, we use the what we call asset method in this particular example. So in the deferrals, maybe we don't need to reverse the deferrals, but in this case we can do the reversal for the accrual. So we will try for the accruals, all the accruals. No, we'll just reverse. Okay, all the entries that we had in the adjusting entries, we'll just reverse. Okay, right, like this one. Salaries, the accrued salaries, we will just reverse it, no, for the salaries. Okay, the first one, for the accrual. Okay, salaries payable and the salaries expense. Okay, so the amount is, so we'll just pick up from the balance. Okay, all right, and also all right, so we will just label it again. This is being done in the very first days of the coming year. Okay, so this is what we call the reversing entry. Okay, for this particular accrual, again we do reversal for those accounts. Okay, particularly the following, accruals and deferrals. If the deferrals are being originally entered as or under the expense method or income method. But again, I would like to remind that in this particular sample, we use the asset method. So the accruals will be fitted only for the accruals. Okay, so again, let's do the second accrual, the receivable, and the income. Okay, so we will reverse consultation, revenues. Okay, and the account receivable. Okay, amounting to 1.5. Okay, all right, so the amount is 1.5, so I will just format it. Okay, next we have the next accrual is the accrual of interest. Accrual of let's, okay, reversing entry. Okay, sorry. Yes, so accrual of interest, that is interest payable and interest expense. All right, so that is 5 to 50 and 5 to 50. Okay, we just pick up what we had in the adjusting entry, no? Alright, so after the interest, we have the utilities. Okay, utilities, and utilities. Alright, the amount is 22. Okay, and we will label it another reversing entry. Also with this one, you just insert the row here. Alright, and we label it reversing entry. Alright, okay, I think we're almost through, and we're just making some finishing touches here, just a few of highlighting, alright. So this is our adjusting entries. Okay, again, for a second look, our closing entries. Okay, and finally we have the reversing entry. Just to make it clear, I would like to just a piece of information for everybody that reversing entry is an optional step. Actually, this reversing entry, the purpose of which is to just simplify the next entry or the next entries, to be made in the coming operation or all of the business. And the again, another one to remember when it comes to reversing entries, only the accruals and the deferrals which were entered, for the in case of deferral, the only entries that were made under the income and expense method. But just to finalize all it up, in this problem, only the accruals were reversed, although it is an optional step because the accruals are can be these are we are allowed to make the reversal for the accruals, but in the case of the deferrals, at this point, we are not going to reverse it. Okay, so I think we're almost through, and okay, and this time I will just make the final showing to you the income statement, or the final, or the, shall we say, the financial statements, the income statements and the balance sheet, which is the end product of this accounting procedure. Okay, once again, this is the worksheet that included in our explanations and in our demonstrations tonight or today, just to give you a full knowledge of this particular topic, which is the accounting cycle, no? The basic accounting cycle pertaining to worksheet and financial statements. No, on the side we have just given you some journal entries, the closing, adjustments, and the reversal. So with that, I would like to finish it up and just to say goodbye for now and keep safe, everybody. But before I go, please don't forget to subscribe and share, hit the magic button, and please bear with me and goodbye for now.